Welcome to Comfy Havoc number 2. This will be part one of my last videos for tonight. Alright, so if you guys aren't aware, let me introduce myself to you. My name is James Williams Jr. I am part Cherokee, part black, and part white. This video will be about everybody's part Cherokee. Alright, now I'm going to explain that to you with this video and then deep dive into it in the next video because I'm going to have to go take the dogs out in 7 minutes. So this needs to be done. Alright, so if you've been on native TikTok, you know there's a lot going on native TikTok. And then there's a lot about colonizers and all this shit. I'm not going to take Lance's Fire, Modern Warrior. Shout out to Modern Warrior. I'm not trying to get involved in any of that shit. But what I am going to tell you is this. Because I do watch a lot of natives on native TikTok and I support them. And I pray that they support me. So I'm gonna say this because it needs to be said. I don't know how big the Cherokee Nation is. Alright? I don't know how big it is. I don't know what Cherokee tribe my people came from or whatever, because we were never engaged in the Native American side of our family. And I want to learn more, but you know, you can't learn from people who don't exist anymore, and you can't learn if people don't want to talk about it, and you can't learn if you're not there to hear it. You know? So when you watch a lot of native TikTok, a lot of people who are half native, slightly native, or barely native, or not native at all, but, or as they say on native TikTok, white passing, everybody and their mother is kin to a Cherokee princess. I don't know if Cherokee even had princesses. And that's kind of what I've been researching. You know, I got a guy on TikTok that's helping me out. His name's River. Thank you, River. And, you know, I know that everybody's going through all kinds of other stuff right now with the missing and murdered indigenous women. And I know about these unfortunate deaths of these babies that will never ever go home. They aren't getting justice, and the number's up to like almost 5,000 by now. And that's just in Canada, and they haven't even touched the surface of the United States yet, which is going to piss off a lot of Native American tribes here. And I'm going to try to stay off of that right now. But from what I had researched, the Cherokee is an off-brand of the Iroquois. So, this could be wrong. Just putting that out there. For sure, this could be wrong. But I don't know if there were any Iroquois princesses or heroes. I don't know if there were any Cherokee heroes. The only famous Cherokee that I know for sure is West Studi. And I didn't even know he was Cherokee until I Googled him, because I thought that he was Apache because he played Geronimo. I don't know what Graham Greene is. I don't know what Adam Beach is. But I do know that they are native. I do not know what tribes they hail from. And they are really the only, like, few Native American actors that I can actually name. You know, there have been more. Now, unlike in the olden days where Italian actors and actresses played Native Americans. Some Native American wrestlers are actually Native Americans. Some are not, you know, Native Americans. And, you know, Native Americans, for those who don't know, are biologically Asian. So we're just not going to keep having to give you this history lesson, land bridge, etc., Bering Straits. Anyway, fucking, sorry for swearing. So every time I hear this Cherokee princess thing on TikTok, I'm like, well, how big was the Cherokee Nation to have so many people that hail from this Cherokee princess thing? And I want to know. I mean, I really, really want to know. I know I'm not from a Cherokee princess. My great-grandmother never mentioned anything about being royalty or any of that shit. And if you have it the way that it's said in history, Native American royalty didn't count. Pocahontas royalty did not count. So it's hard to say. You know, they didn't count Native American princesses royalty when John Smith and Columbus and all those motherfuckers came here, you know. So they just, Native Americans, they're just, you know, as far as the Europeans were concerned, we were not human when they got here. And I say we because I am a descendant of Native Americans. You know, I did not have my face surgically fixed to look like this. This has been the face I've been born with forever. Until it got burnt off. And that picture's over there. Anyway, you know, so I'm sitting back and I'm thinking to myself, how big is the Cherokee Nation? Because you know about the Seminole, You know about the Powhatan, because Pocahontas was Powhatan. You know about the Chickasaw. You know about the Cheyenne. You know about the bigger tribes, you know. And the reason why you know about the bigger tribes is because history books has them in it. All right? You know about the Cheyenne. You know about the Seminole. You know about the Powhatan. You know about the Manhattan Indians. And you know about a couple of smaller tribes. And you know about the Kiowa. You know about the Mohawk. You know about the Apache. You know about the Sioux. You know about the Hopi. Who am I missing? Thousands of more. But you know about the ones that I've named because they are the bigger tribes that are federally recognized or whatever. The Cherokees also federally recognized and they were moved to Oklahoma, which is kind of what got me in a fucking loop because my great grandmother is supposedly Cherokee and she came from Powhite. I have not found a Powhite reservation. I have been searching the internet through thick and thin. I have things from River that I need to do more Google and research, and I got them on Wikipedia. I just haven't had time to actually go through them, so I will do that this weekend and maybe make an update video after the second part of this. But the problem is, I need to know how big the Cherokee Nation really was because when you get on TikTok and white passing or the non-natives are always talking about that they are descendants of these Cherokee princesses. And I don't know what the fuck a Cherokee princess is. I have 1 minute, so I have to hurry up so I can go and take these dogs out. But I'm sitting here and I'm like, Cherokee princess. I was never told any legends of Cherokee princesses. Not by my grandmother Ada, so I'm like, okay, well, what the fuck? And my great-grandmother, I meant. Then my grandmother Bay never did anything native outside of fucking corn and the pancakes. Which is another scratch on my behalf, you know, because it's like, yeah, I don't fuck with corn. I can't stand it. I'll eat rice. I hate corn. And corn was like a Native American thing, and I just fucking hate corn. I'm sorry. To any Native that I've pissed off with that, I hate fucking corn. I hate maize. I hate corn. The only corn product I like is popcorn. So, therefore. But yeah, we never got to deal with my native side on either side of my family, and it kind of sucks that I don't have the ability to reach out to anybody that's native in Virginia that can actually sit down and talk to me about any of this shit that I don't know, and I want to know before I die. I'm still waiting on Ancestry to let me know how much Native American I have, because they got my black, they got my white, and it's like 30, 30, and 30. But I haven't gotten the Native American part. So I'm assuming that the third 30 will be the Native American part because there's nothing there. And I don't know why they have to go all the way to Africa and Ireland or whatever the white thing is. Like I said, I'm going to get that shit printed out as soon as it's all done. I'm going to get it printed out from my job. As soon as they give me the rules, I'm going to print it out. I'm going to try to read it here. And I'm probably going to be upset that I don't have as much Native American as my face shows. But these things, as a teacher and I discussed, these things are like 50-50 accurate, And 9 times out of 10, they're probably not as accurate as they claim to be because they're finding DNA follicles. And these DNA follicles aren't as relevant to your current blood as possible. At least that's what she was telling me, the teacher. And I'm like, if you're right, then I might have more native in me than the DNA is going to read. And also, I've watched other people's DNA reveals, and a lot of Native American DNA is hard to track. Do not ask me why, because Native Americans technically, since they are biologically Asian, and they mutated from Mongolia over to Asia, because Mongolia is the only Chinese or Asian community that has the same aspects of natives. Let me make sure I clarify that, alright? There have been totem poles found in Mongolia. Hunting with falcons is something that Native Americans do. Hunting on horses is something that Native Americans do. Hunting with bows and arrows is something that Native Americans do. It is also something that is done and found in Mongolia and has been done for centuries. Now, Native Americans have a little bit more spiritual connection to animals. I can't say if that's been found in Mongolia, but I can say that as far as like spiritual connection, shape-shifting legends, stuff like that, that's all Native American. The main thing that Mongolian has that most Native Americans have, especially down the West Coast, is totem poles. So yeah, totem poles. And Mongolians have totem poles. But China doesn't have them. Laos doesn't have them. Vietnam doesn't have them. South Korea, North Korea, Indonesia, Malaysia, Tibet. None of them have totem poles. But Mongolia has totem poles. Go figure. Anyway, I'll be back with the second video to finish this off. But, you know, the thing is, I really need to know how big the Cherokee Nation is, or was, or whatever. So thanks for watching. I'm going to walk the dogs now because it's 11 o'clock. Be seeing ya.